morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy day 3 of our 5-day nutrition reset. I hope that you all are doing really well so far. You're checking a lot of stuff off your list and you are getting stuff done. Put notes on that just in case you feel like you're not, okay? So where have we been this week with our live trainings? We've talked a lot about mindset. Yesterday we covered balanced nutrition, and today we're going to be talking about the idea of adding exercise into your plan, okay? So one big misconception is about how much exercise is needed for weight loss. So there are governing bodies that have things to say about this. So many institutions say that 60 minutes of exercise per day is necessary to make an impact calorie-wise to create a calorie deficit in order for weight loss, okay? So that's a pretty big number, right? Most people don't have time to exercise for 60 minutes a day, every single day, consistently over time, at least not enough to make an impact on their health, right? Well, on their weight loss, right? You still may be getting some benefits for health-wise and all of that stuff too. So, and I think that fact, like if you're looking at that and you're like, oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. How am I going to fit that into the day when I can hardly get the things done that I'm already doing, right? And it makes total sense. So I think that fact kind of makes people give up to begin with and not even get started, because if they feel like 60 minutes is that benchmark and they have to hit that in order to be successful, then they really rarely get started, and that can be a real problem. So I want to offer up a couple facts for you. Number one is that you can create a calorie deficit for weight loss without exercising, right? So very simply, in order to start burning body fat off, you need to be taking in less calories than you're putting out. So it does help to exercise and burn off more calories that way, because it does give you a little bit more food freedom. But ultimately, if you're in a situation where you either really don't have a lot of time to commit to exercise, or I know a few of you are actually like post-surgery, things like that, where you're actually recovering and your ability to exercise is not possible right now, just know that it is possible still to create a calorie deficit and to get somewhere in terms of weight loss without adding in exercise, or a tremendous amount of exercise, okay? So that's fact number one. The second is that what I see often is people following this, aiming for 60, even 90 minutes a day, doing this exercise. And initially it does really help. So you are burning off a pretty good amount of calories, especially if you're doing cardio and things like that. You could easily be burning 300, 400 calories pretty easy with exercise. But what people don't recognize is that over time, because the body becomes better at doing those movements and becomes more efficient, you actually tend to burn less calories doing the same exercise over time. And there are studies that show that we tend to compensate as well. So when you're exercising quite a bit, your body internally is like, all right, we gotta eat enough food to make up for that. And it can really increase hunger hormones if you are going at it too hard. So I think there are a lot of subtle nuances that we need to keep in mind here when we're looking at this 16-minute a day goal. Now, there are definitely benefits of exercise that you can't ignore either. And this is really why including exercise is important for you. So number one, if you are getting I would say a moderate amount of exercise, not too strenuous, your hunger hormones will actually decrease afterwards. So if you've ever noticed, like going out for a quick walk or something like that tends to curb your hunger for the rest of the day. That is proven, right? So that's another benefit that you could start incorporating with this exercise here. Number two, exercise reduces stress. Studies are showing that 15 to 20 minutes of just light walking, anything to get that heart rate up, can reduce stress, which can then in turn affect our emotional eating. And so if you're stress eating or you're bored eating or any of that kind of stuff, that can actually be reduced long-term by exercise, right? So if you're exercising first thing in the morning, you're getting that stress level down to 0, tends to let the rest of the day go by a little bit better. You may be more in control of your eating habits there, so naturally you could be eating a little bit less, okay? The third is the snowball effect of this habit. So once again, let's say you're exercising first thing in the morning, right? You feel really good about that. You feel really accomplished. I think it's much less likely that your eating habits are going to go right in the toilet for the rest of the day after you've already done one good thing that's part of the day, right? So exercise leads to a healthy breakfast, which then leads to healthier snacks and lunches and all of this other stuff. And so one small habit, even if you're exercising, going out for a quick 15-20 minute walk, in the case of this challenge, maybe a 30-minute walk, it really is going to impact how you view the rest of the day and the rest of the choices that you make, which in turn can then help with the weight loss equation for you. And last, we have number 4, which is that certain types of exercises help to increase our muscle mass. So here's another fact for you. Muscle mass versus fat mass takes a lot more calories to maintain, right? So your body is burning off more energy supporting muscle mass instead of supporting fat. Fat is storage, and so it doesn't take a lot of energy just to keep it there, right? So if you are increasing your muscle mass, and that can even be through walking, yoga, you could do weight training and that kind of stuff, over time, the amount of calories that you're burning at rest is going to increase. And so that's going to help you maintain a calorie deficit without really any thought at all. So in the 12-week program that we have, what we try to do is bridge the gap between this really overarching, almost seemingly impossible goal of 60 minutes per day. And we're getting in this middle point of, okay, so we have these 4 benefits that we're aiming for here, but we don't want to do 60 minutes. We want to make something that's more realistic and impactful and something that we can stick with consistently. We're setting minimum goals on a daily basis to make activity a part of your normal routine and build it in and make it something that you really feel like you're missing when you do skip it for a day. We also focus on activities that do check off these benefits, but they're less time consuming, so you can do them quickly, less time, get on with your day, and still reap the rewards of this as well. So this week, I challenged you to get 30 minutes of activity every single day. Here in Connecticut, at least, we've had 2 days of sunshine and beautiful weather, and now it's raining, and so that can often put people in their tracks as well. So what I want you to do today is really to just take inventory of how you're doing on this specific checklist item. So if you are not 3 of 3 so far, we're in day 3 here, but it's still young, still early in day 3. No worries. Really, the point of this challenge isn't to beat you down about the things that you're not doing, because you're probably already doing that for yourself and recognizing all these bad things, right? What it is really is to just help identify where you are, how consistent you can be with things, and really just identify areas where you can improve, understand the obstacles that are coming up for you, and find ways to be tenacious about finding ways around them, right? So I mentioned this morning, my natural inclination for exercise is to go outside for a walk. It's raining. I probably won't be doing that. I'm probably going to check the forecast and make sure that doesn't happen. But what I have is a backup plan, right? So I have an exercise bike here in my office. I have a yoga mat. There's lots of other things that I could do inside. And so if you can identify where things are falling short for you, you can find alternatives, you can find ways around what end up essentially being excuses, then that's going to help you build a consistent effort, okay? Now, I did mention that I know a few of you are in surgery recovery and, physically unable to accomplish exercise right now as well. So, if that part of the challenge is just not possible for you right now, that is totally fine. You definitely need to start where you are on this, and you can definitely focus your attention on the other tasks that you have. This challenge is meant to indeed challenge you, but it is meant to start where you are as well. And so if there are things that you cannot check off your to-do list, don't let that stop you from checking off what you can, okay? So what I'd love to see in the comments is let me know what you're doing with exercise this week. Have you gotten your 3 for 3 days so far? if you haven't, what are your plans for picking that up for the rest of the week? What is getting in your way? Whatever is on your mind about this right now, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let's get a conversation going about it. Find some creative ways to solve some of these problems and finish this challenge strong. You guys have a great rest of your day.